When serving a backspin ball, there are two ways to do it. The first is to brush from top to bottom. The second is to brush from back to front. Which one do you prefer, my fellow players? Or the second one from back to front? I suggest that, if we are to learn it first, we should start with the parallel, horizontally spun backspin. This backspin ball is relatively simple. If you serve a good backspin, I think it can be very effective in matches. First, the racket should be horizontal. Brush the bottom of the ball. Now, pay attention to my hand. The first key point is to keep the racket horizontal. If it's too steep, the ball will have a half-spin friction effect. The more you brush underneath the ball, the more spin the ball will have when it crosses the net. This applies to both forehand and backhand. The second point is, when brushing the ball, come, watch me closely. When brushing the ball, we try to brush the bottom of the ball. Brush the lower half of the racket, close to the tip of the racket. This is the point. I make contact at this point, then brush to hit the ball. Let's send one out. Everyone look. This ball, the spin comes out. 1 flat. 2. Apply friction on the bottom. 3. Apply friction on the lower half of the paddle, not on the upper half. If you apply friction on the upper half, why do many people miss their serves? It's because your point of contact on the ball is incorrect. Friction should be here, not on the upper half of the paddle. Flat, underspin, downwards. 3 points. It needs a bit more bottom spin on the friction ball. This serve must generate more spin on the ball. Underspin, underspin. It can spin a bit more. I will use cardboard to demonstrate twice. It's the same. For the second one, for the backspin serve, we need to keep the shoulder and elbow tight. The serving stance should remain compact. To generate the ball, during the serve, focus on using the forearm as the main lever. Shoulder, elbow, upper arm, look at me, keep it close to your body. Okay, so what's with all the swinging? It's mainly the forearm. Everyone look. It's a movement from back to front. From back to front. Rubbing like this, rubbing forward and downward. So, if you lift your shoulder and arm together, and lower them together, lift it together, and lower it together, it could push or collide. The spin isn't effective. It might result in a no-spin ball. But it can also be top spin. I believe this is a problem many amateur players are currently facing. We can generate a top spin ball, but it doesn't have enough spin. So, whether it's a forehand or backhand, when we start the stroke, look at my shoulder, my upper arm, my elbow, during the setup, and then 2. In the setup, bring it slightly closer to my body. So during the serve, everyone look. The first thing we will discuss is the forearm. During the serve, the forearm must rotate. Its rotation goes from back to front. Turning like this, the second point is the wrist. Everyone look. When the forearm opens, the wrist extends. When moving forward, the wrist brushes. 1, 2. 1, 2, so they must not move together. Don't do 1. Then 2. Don't do 1. Then 2. What shouldn't you do? Don't push. Don't push, watch. This won't generate spin, players. If you serve like this, it won't generate spin, see? This won't spin. What should it do? Separate your wrist from your forearm. Turn like this. Your wrist should extend backward first, Then move forward to contact the ball, extending the wrist. Make contact with the ball. Contacting the ball. When making contact with the ball, friction. This is a very important point. If everyone wants to serve a short backspin ball, this is how to serve. Use your wrist. Watch closely. Wrist movement. First, extend your wrist. Second, strike the ball. Third, create friction. If you want to serve a long ball, we need to incorporate forearm movement. Forearm movement. During the serve, how should the wrist be positioned? It must rotate. Look at this position. Friction at this position. The wrist must move. The forearm must move. So, your forearm and wrist move together. This is called collision and push. Everyone, see which one is correct. This is the second type. So, when we serve this backspin ball, if you push directly, using your fingers and wrist to brush, look, the spin will vary greatly. So, when we serve, the wrist must be turned. First, extend the wrist. Extend your forearm, and extend your wrist. Extend your forearm, and extend your wrist. When hitting the ball, the forearm applies force forward, and the wrist rotates. So you see, the wrist goes far beyond my forearm. If we talk about a straight line, it's way beyond my forearm. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure to rotate your wrist along with your forearm. When you make contact with the ball, apply some power. Look, the table tennis ball will spin a lot. Watch my wrist with my forearm. 1, 2, okay, look. Wrist, forearm, wrist, forearm, the straight bat is the same. You must extend the motion of the wrist. Friction, extend, friction. When making contact with the ball, as long as you apply force with your wrist, first let it relax. First, let your wrist relax. The second point is that during the hitting process, you need to make contact with the ball. You must apply force with your hand, which means your hand speed needs to be quick. The hand speed shouldn't be 1, 2, 3, but rather 1, 2, 3. Hand speed must be quick. The wrist must be relaxed. Extend the wrist and create friction. Apply friction when you make contact with the ball. At that moment, if the wrist cannot rotate, this motion will stop automatically. For example, you can't serve like this. When the wrist cannot rotate, this action will cease. So everyone, take a look at the racket head. Short ball. Short ball. Why can the ball come back? Because it has spin, it can come back. I particularly envy many of these shots. Like this one that loops back, right? Why does it spin? It's because it makes contact with the ball, and the wrist generates friction. So remember what I said first. The wrist must be relaxed. When making contact with the ball, the wrist should open up, and it remains open when hitting the ball. After hitting the ball, there is friction. The wrist cannot rotate anymore. This is the final motion of force, until it can no longer rotate. Stop, 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 stop. All serves. Remember, as long as you stay relaxed, your hand speed will improve. For instance, the second biggest issue arises when we serve. The same serve. We serve with backspin. If you serve like this, it will be slow. Look at my hand speed. If you serve like this, the ball speed will be fast. You're too slow. So during the serving process, you think your overall motion frequency is like this. You want to send the ball at the speed. That's impossible. So everyone in the serving phase must remember, accelerate, accelerate. Just this one movement. No matter how I hit it, I can hit it like this, or like this, or like this. The speed of the shot. We need to improve our hand speed. Otherwise, the speed of the ball comes from ourselves. At the beginning, we must first relax. Only after relaxing can we accelerate. Acceleration is necessary before braking. So, these 3 points are very important, because in the preparation phase, it should be relaxed, you see. When I toss the ball, when I raise it, it should be relaxed. When I swing the racket, it should be accelerated. After making contact with the ball and completing the spin, only if you get these 3 points right, can you possibly serve the ball effectively, you see. Otherwise, you'll be tense the whole time, resulting in a high and slow serve. Right? Many players struggle with high and slow serves. What are some players like? During the serve, I tend to stay relaxed. I am indeed relaxed, but I won't get tense. So what kind of serve does he use? No spin. He doesn't impart any spin. Generally, there are 2 scenarios. Either not too tight, it shouldn't be too loose. So what should it actually be? During the backswing, it should be relaxed. When making contact with the ball from your swing, at that point, it should be accelerating. After the acceleration, it should be able to control itself to stop. This is known as braking. After utilizing this power, it should brake in time. But sometimes we become uncoordinated, and we lack this braking ability, which can also prevent the ball from spinning.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.